Hello ladies and gentlemen, CaptainShack here, and welcome to everything you need to know about Star Wars Rebels, the first major project to come out of Disney after they picked up the franchise. The creative talent behind Rebels is largely made up of those who produced one of my other favorite Star Wars series, The Clone Wars. Taking place 5 years before the events of A New Hope, Rebels focuses on a time that's largely ignored in the Star Wars canon. In this series, we see the shift of power and the events from the galaxy-wide violence of the Clone Wars, and we get to take a deeper look at the rise of the Galactic Empire and its effects on people's lives.
No fear. Help is on the way. Advance and fire!
Rebels narrows its focus from the wide-scale events of Jedi generals and clone battalions for a more intimate look at 6 crew members of the Starship Ghost, each having a bone to pick with the Empire. Early episodes are more about survival than any real plan to fight back, but as Season 1 progressed further, we started to see the birth of what will eventually be the Rebel Alliance. What I enjoy most about Rebels is the simple fact that they don't ignore the Clone Wars. They actually reference old bases, gear, and equipment from this era. They show the effects of the death of the Jedi Order, and the true just loss of hope in the galaxy firsthand. This serves to actually make the original movies a deeper, more meaningful experience. Unlike other additions to the Star Wars franchise that have really just tacked on events or ripped characters from the original movies for their own use. Rebels' strength, though, is its characters. Now be warned, we're going hard into spoiler town from this part forward. Season 1 has a strong focus on Ezra Bridger, a young man who we quickly find is a Force sensitive, and a thief, and kind of a selfish jerk.
I stole this stuff, whatever it is, fair and square.
But eventually grows into the role of a Padawan, and he becomes the newest crew member of the Ghost. His master, a Jedi named Kanan Jarrus, managed to survive Order 66. Going into hiding, he abandoned and suppressed his Jedi training, but eventually he would meet up with a freighter pilot and captain of the Ghost, Hera Syndulla. In the novel Star Wars A New Dawn, which I recommend, he would eventually join as a member of the crew.
Troopers, focus your fire on the Jedi.
His role is a fun one to watch. He's not completely sure of his own abilities to train a younger generation of Jedi, and he struggles with the idea of him being the master. He constantly shows a fear of loss due to what he's already witnessed with the fall of the Jedi Order and the death of his own master. Expect to see deeper character spotlights on this channel at a later date.
Oh, he said that, did he?
The captain I mentioned earlier and the pilot of the Ghost, Hera Syndulla, is a Twi'lek rebel. We find out throughout Season 1 that she actually has connections with the greater rebel selves in the galaxy. She's a damn fine pilot, even shocking Kanan, which, surprising a Jedi, whose reflexes are aided by the Force, is no small feat. Hera is actually the daughter of Cham Syndulla, who led the Twi'lek resistance against the Confederacy on Ryloth. He can be found in the Clone Wars series episodes Supply Lines and The Liberty on Ryloth.
The Twi'leks will live to fight another day.
The supplies have arrived at the drop point.
There are lots of little Clone Wars connections, and I love that about this series. Next up is Sabine, a character that I hope really gets more background episodes dedicated to her in Season 2. She's a Mandalorian weapons expert. Towards the end of the Clone Wars, Mandalore has fallen into total chaos. The Empire eventually would set up a presence on Mandalore, installing multiple facilities, including an Imperial Academy, from which Sabine attended as a cadet. Her early years, she followed Imperial orders blindly until something we know not what affected her family in some nightmarish way, causing her to leave the Empire and run away from home. By the age of 16, she had joined up with the rebels on Lothal as a distraction causer and, well, explosive expert. She also loves to mark stuff with graffiti just about everywhere she's been. It's a nice touch.
Something missing. There. Perfect.
Heads up, you rebel scum.
Especially when that graffiti can explode. No crew in the Star Wars universe is going to last long without a trusty droid.
And while you're back there, tell Kanan to please hit something.
CP-10P, also known by the crew as Chopper, is kind of like a smart-ass version of R2-D2. The C-1 model astromechs were used in the very early stages of the Galactic Empire, meaning by the time we see Chopper running around in Rebels, the majority of his parts have been replaced with secondhand scrap. Even so, he's an invaluable member of the Ghost crew, mainly because he spent years upgrading and customizing the Ghost itself, to the point that, well, only Chopper knows how the systems actually work together. Rounding out the cast and bringing some muscle to the group is the Lasat named Garazeb Aurelius, known by most as Zeb. Now, Zeb was a member of the Lasan Honor Guard, from which he received his military training and his iconic bow rifle. His time with the Guard was cut short, sadly, as the Empire devastated his home planet, wiping out the majority of its population. At the age of 39, Zeb had joined the Ghost's crew in hopes to put the hurting on the Imperial operations on Lothal.
Zeb, are you embarrassing the Imperials again?
Honestly, Kanan, it's hard not to.
The last character of the main cast has to be mentioned, the Ghost itself. She's an old VCX-100 light freighter, originally made by Carillion Engineering Corporation. It was named after its ability to evade Imperial sensors, hence the name Ghost. She has the ability to scramble its codes, making it hard to identify. She's armed with a nose turret underneath the cockpit, a 360-degree dorsal laser in the midship. She packs enough punch to damage, if not destroy, a Gonzati-class cruiser, of which the Empire loves to use these little buggers as supply ships and fighter carriers. Throughout the first season of Rebels, we see many important side characters, and the universe gets developed. We get to see the political situation and why it only takes a spark to form the rebellion that Luke can't wait to join just 5 years later. Season 2 comes out this June, and I am very excited for it. Well guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, may the Force be with you, and thanks for watching.
Well, kid, you pulled it off.
Was there ever any doubt?
Yes.